All right, I want to go over some of the AI tools that are kind of hidden all over the place in Resolve. We have a menu from Timeline here, just called AI Tools. We have Audio Assistant, Create Subtitles, and Speech Generator. Audio Assistant will actually remix your files. So if you have like voiceover, dialogue, music, and effects, it'll go through and analyze that. You hit Auto Mix. It'll actually rename your tracks and put a bunch of plugins where appropriate on your bus and on the tracks. Now, the one I do use quite a bit is generate subtitles from audio. So let's listen to this audio clip real quick.
Sony A7S Mark II filming in 4K UHD 24p at one.
Timeline, AI tools, create subtitles from audio. I like to change mine to 25 characters and make it a double line. So if we hit create, but now let's check out the subtitles that it generated for this clip.
Sony A7S Mark II filming in 4K UHD 24p at 100 megabits per second.
So pretty good. And you can actually right click and export your subs here. Now the last one here on the timeline is speech generator. Now this works pretty well for smaller lines. So let's go ahead and add that here. It gives you a spot to input your speech. So you can't put in a whole lot, but you can put in a few words and it seems to work okay. So I'll put testing the speech generator. You have an option to use a few different models here or custom voice. So if you have a line of dialogue, you can choose custom voice, load it in here. It does have to be a WAV file, and it'll analyze that file and then generate it based on that voice. Kind of hit or miss on that so far. I'll go ahead and tell it to generate and add it to audio 1. It's going to add it right where our playhead is sitting. And now we have this.
Testing the speech generator.
Not too bad. If we click on that, it does make a new file in your session, wherever your folder is. Now we do have clip-wise AI tools. And if I grab this and we'll find where the vocals start, you might know this song. If I hold that clip and I go to Music Remixer, I can mute out the voice, mute the guitar as well. So that does a pretty nice job. You can also use these sliders here if you click the little slider menu in the corner, and you can adjust them at varying levels or just mute them, whichever you like. We have an AI dialogue leveler, which works pretty well. It's mainly if you just have pure VO or dialogue. So it's kind of like what you would put on the compressor side for the audio channel, but you can do it right here in the inspector. Then we have voice isolation. So let's go back to this clip here and we'll listen to what it sounds like. It's shot outside.
Sony A7S Mark II filming in.
Pretty noisy. So with that clip selected, I will turn on voice isolation and we'll put it at, say, 90. And let's listen to what that sounds like.
Sony A7S Mark II filming in 4K UHD.
Does a pretty great job. Now you can only add that through the track or through each individual clip. So if we had a whole bunch of the same and we didn't want to choose them all here, we could actually click the track level and you can see this changes to track level instead of, if I click here, it's actually on the clip and it gives you the clip name. So something to be aware of. Now, we do have some other AI tools up here in the media pool, AI analysis and some transcription. So if I go to, say, this bin here, it's my John Wick bin with a bunch of stills in there. I actually analyzed all these, but what you do is select all, and then you can choose this menu here, and you'll get this shortcut option for Analyze for Intelli Search, Analyze for Slate, and choose which color marker you want if there's one in there. You can transcribe if it has audio, and you could use audio classification, which basically will go through the audio files and decide whether it's voiceover, dialogue, or music, effects, things like that. So you can do that and hit analyze, and then you get these little icons in your clip corners in the thumbnails that tell you it's been analyzed. So now let's say we want to search this bin. We have this little drop down here, which will let us go search all, do a visual search or transcript or even metadata. And we have this submenu here where it's all bins, selected bins, and whether we want segments or full clips. So with this bin selected and all the clips, let's just choose car here. It has to take a moment, but now that it's filtered it, every clip it comes back with should conceivably have what you looked for in it. There's a train car. There's a headlight behind John here. And here's an overhead shot with cars as well. Now you can save these as smart bins. So with this search query of car, you could select them all. And then there's a little menu button here for add as a smart bin. You can rename it. And then that will basically give you a bin down here in the smart bins. If you don't see that, it's up here in the 3-dot menu. Checkbox the show smart bins. And now I have one just called Johnny. But if I click on it, it's going to take a moment because it actually filters it. So now this is just shots of John Wick, essentially close-ups, which I already did a search for. Now, there's a few other things you can do here. Instead of using this pop-up menu, where if you had a bunch of clips selected and you chose this one, you can actually right-click the clip, and there's another AI tools menu. So here we have the same Intelli Search. So it's basically breaking it down into processes along with remove motion blur. So we have Intelli Search checkbox for identify faces on and off, and then you can search the clip by itself instead of doing a whole bin or something like that. And we also have a slate identifier. So with this clip right here, I right-clicked it, AI tools, and did analyze for slate. And if we move that over here to our preview monitor, you can see right here, we have an orange marker. And if I go back to the front of the marker, it actually says there's a slate here and gives me a time code, gave us our slate right here, and we could see that. So that's some of the right-click menu options. There's an AI voice training. Now, if you had a big clip and you wanted to make a custom voice with it, this one will actually do that. It does say you need to have the rights to use the voice. Hit accept. You can give it a name. You can tell it better or faster. And then it's just confirming the clip that you're using if you were to generate it. Now, there's another thing you have to have when using the AI Intelli Search. There's a 3-dot menu here. This will reset all your analysis. And we have the mode of faster and better. But before you can use all that, on the DaVinci Resolve menu, there is a extras download manager. Now this one will say outdated if there's an outdated version. You can always trash them here because they do take up space. Or if you need the newer versions, you can click download or just download all. So we got about 4 gigs for the Intelli Search and about a gig for the faster search. And it gives you a size there. So once you download that, you can use all these Intelli Search options. Now there's another one here for face analysis. So if we go back to our John Wick and choose our clips, you'd see there's a little people icon right here. It says show face gallery. If I click on that, you can see we got a picture of John Wick here, and we have a drop-down menu option of show results for all selected faces or show results for any of the faces in a face manager. So if I click on that, it'll look through here and it should show us all John Wick. But normally, if you have faces in here, it should give you just clips with those faces. One other thing I want to show you is transcription. We click on a clip that has audio, you could right-click it, AI tools. If it has audio, we have audio transcription, and you can hit transcribe. If you've already transcribed it, you'll get this little icon inside your thumbnail with a little dialog box with some, looks like text on it. To see that, you can click this menu here. And if it already did it, it'll just pop this up. Now, one thing that's cool is you can actually edit off of this and search it. So let's say right here, I have this line, speech generator here, which you can, so if I like that line, I can append it right into the timeline here, speech generator here, or if I want to remove silence. And then if I wanted to search, I could say slower frame. Here's where I said the phrase slower frame. I could grab that, put it here, append it down in, And now we have the clip where I'm saying slower frame rate. It's actually playing back at a slower frame rate. So it's kind of a cool way if you had a script or lines you were looking for and you know you need them, you can find them right in here. And that's audio transcription. You can also select all of it, right click and copy it. And I use that sometimes for a video summary. So that's another one of the cool AI tools is the audio transcription. So that's a little walk around of the various menus, not all of them, but most of them on the edit page. If you found that helpful, consider giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.